Justin Fields made his NFL debut against the Chicago Bears, with the Chicago Bears against the Cleveland Browns. And God, it was awful. I told you it was going to be ugly last week, but Jesus, I didn't expect it to be that ugly. The burning question right now is Nagy showing that he's basically a bust as a head coach?
I don't know that I could actually go that far. What I saw from this game is that Nagy might have been onto something with not starting Justin Fields, like what we've all been all over him about since the season started, and even in the preseason when he told us that Andy Dalton was the starter, and we called him every kind of idiot that ever lived. This first start for Justin Fields with one net passing yard for the entire game kind of says that he knew what he was doing. He's not ready. He's a top prospect for sure, and I think he's still got a lot of promise, but when you throw for 68 yards in an entire football game and you get sacked for 67 yards and net one passing yard, there's a problem here. You can't blame all of that on Matt Nagy. The offensive line was terrible. The backs and tight ends didn't pick up a single blitz. Nothing worked.
Yeah.
But even as bad as that game was, through the first half, they were still in the game.
Yeah.
It started to unravel in the second quarter, but the score didn't show it. Justin Fields just started getting murdered in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Nagy didn't make any adjustments. I don't know what he could have done to make the entire team fix it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Justin was holding the ball too long. He was snapping the ball and getting popped. Like the same way he did in the preseason against Buffalo when he got his helmet knocked off. He got hit like that 3-4 times in this game.
Yeah, he did. Drugged to the ground by Garrett and Clowney and just all the dudes out there on that defensive line. Now, looking at this game, I just got to say straight up, and we know this isn't the case, but Justin Fields looked awful. He looked like a bust. He looked pedestrian. The dude couldn't even make routine throws. He was sailing them by 5, 6, 7 yards over guys' heads, throwing at their feet, just super inaccurate. And, he had a couple throws to an Allen Robinson and a Darnell Mooney and a little bit of a connection there with Cole Kmet. But when you have one net passing yard, when you have 48 yards of offense the whole game? This is absolutely unheard of. And I know you spoke to the testament of maybe Matt Nagy knew what he was doing by not starting Fields. But I'll challenge you there, Fees. He did not set that man up for success whatsoever. And I know Dalton's out. And I made the joke last week of, if anybody else on that depth chart started besides Justin Fields, then, Soldier Field would have been burning. But if Matt Nagy truly knew that Fields wasn't ready, then why did he put him out there? If this was going to be the product the whole time, why did he put them out there? Why did he let him get sacked 9 times? And also, something I noticed from Fields, a couple of those sacks were self-induced. He was holding the ball a little too long, just on about 2 or 3 of those sacks. And I said, Fields got to get that ball out. He's not feeling his pressure. He's not able to move. And this was something that you saw it time and time again in the game to where he wasn't comfortable. He looked awful, absolutely awful. And when you talk about, so let's take a look at how it was with Trubisky, rather, because you've had, so many saviors potentially trying to have him in the NFL for the quarterback position with the Chicago Bears. So when you have Andy Dalton and you have Mitch Trubisky dropping back and getting hurt, but then when you start to move them around, use their athletic ability and really make them work for you, then it starts working well. There were no design plays for Justin to move out of the pocket efficiently. There were no design plays for Justin to really be able to use his athletic ability to his advantage. And that's why I look at Matt Nagy. That's why I look at time and time again how he hasn't adjusted. And I know the Bears fan base is pissed about it. I'm pissed about it because Justin Fields is my favorite player coming into the draft. And to see him play like that was absolutely pitiful. I can't believe the performance that he just put on there on Sunday. And Nagy did not set that man up for success at all. I know that the Bears don't have the greatest O-line, and they're going through some things right now, but Jesus Christ, he looked like a bust. He looked like a bust, and the Bears looked dumb for picking him on that Sunday game. Not from here on out, but on that Sunday game, I was pissed about the way Justin Fields looked, and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, on Sunday, Justin Fields looked like he's no more ready to play than Trey Lance.
Trey Lance has looked better in 7 NFL snaps than Justin Fields has looked in 40. Jesus Christ.
We would have expected Trey to look like that because of the amount of time that he's been out, and they didn't draft him to play immediately.
Right.
Justin was supposed to be able to walk right in the door and do his thing. But what we had been repeatedly pointing out, time and time again, is that all of Justin Fields' snaps in the preseason were against the second, third, fourth stringers. And, like, it was in garbage time. He didn't get any time against the starters. But I think he threw him out there because Andy Dalton was hurt. He didn't have any intentions of starting him. This is why he's saying all three quarterbacks are in play this week between him, Dalton, and Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Which, if he's just trying to catch a W this week, he should start Nick Foles.
100%. If you're talking about a guy that's going to be out there with IQ, hangs in the pocket, he's seen it before. I'm not even going to talk about the Super Bowl win. He's seen it before. Nick Foles has been through this league, started for the Eagles, with the Bears, a little bit with – it's crazy to think that he was with the Jags at one point. Yeah. Did he have a little stop with the Broncos? I mean, geez, man. But I was really upset to see that Fields truly went out like that.